This feature is brought to you by the leader in short-term insurance, providing tailor-made solutions for most of South Africa's top 100 companies. Santam, rest insured. Wayne McCurrie is with us in the studio. We were celebrating a big day yesterday.
Yes.
And it gave up a little bit of it.
A little bit, but understand.
1.5% down today.
I must admit, I thought the market would at very least be stable today, considering that the Dow went up 7% last night. I mean, that is one of the biggest, I think it's one of the 5 biggest one-day up moves ever on the Dow. I mean, it was quite a memorable day. And, you know, you would think under that scenario our market would go up a little bit, but all the weakness today is in the mining shares, everything. The rest of the markets actually net up, you know, on the interest rate cut, etc., etc. But the mining shares took a bit of a pounding. I mean, they have been the ones that have run the most. You know, Anglo American down 7%, BHP down 5%. Gold mining down 4%, platinum
they
down 2%.
They got big weightings, those shares.
Oh, yes,
so
they're very big.
They would suck the whole market lower.
They pull the whole market lower.
Wayne, interesting to see that in the United States now already the skeptics are emerging after the excitement yesterday that perhaps the authorities had managed to find the right thing. See, Joseph Stiglitz, Nobel Prize-winning economist, has today come out and said it's a disaster. And in fact, it's going to hurt. Geithner's plan isn't going to work.
Well, look, Alec, it's so difficult. We're in uncharted territory. I mean, what do you do? I mean, the basic plan is quite simple. The Fed will give you money to buy these assets, but you've got to buy the assets at an auction, in essence. So hopefully the banks will get some sort of market-related price, and the government won't be buying these assets at inflated prices. Hopefully there's some sort of clearing mechanism in this process. But of course, quite frankly, who knows what the outcome is going to be? As I said, we are in uncharted territory.
Getting back home, last night we had a fascinating discussion with the CEO of Glenrand MIB,
yes. And
the share price reacted today up
today.
20% to 83 cents. Is it still value there, Wayne, in your opinion?
Look, I would think so. There's clear signs of a turnaround. Look, whenever you get these turnaround situations, you know, sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So, but it appears as though the turnaround is in place. They got rid of their employee benefit section, and that was the real problem there. You know, up 20%. I would still think it's value at this level, but you know there is still risk attached to it.
You still move markets, Mr. McCurrie. And then we saw Imperial was up 8% today, Uranium One up 12.5%, and Advotech, also in the news recently, up 4%. There's some big movers if you catch the shares at the right time.
Yeah, look, Alec, there's been movers down and movers up in the last couple of weeks. Certainly up. There's been, you know, when you look at what Old Mutual's done, you look at what Sappi's done, you look at what Mondi's done, there have been some huge upward movements here. You know, maybe overdone. No specific news. Obviously, Advanced Tech came out with their results not that long ago.
Well, we had them last night as well.
So that was, you know, that was a fairly good set there. Imperial just looks very oversold in a falling interest rate environment. And we've seen, you know, a couple of the interest rate sensitive shares do reasonably well today. Certainly the banks up in total about 2%. All the banks are up on the back of the interest rate cut. So no matter, you know, despite the fact that it was widely anticipated, the banks were still probably the best performing sector on the market today.
And the volatility index, 33, coming to 34%.
Where did it peak? At about 50?
Well, it got way over 40. I don't know if it got to 50, but it was well over 40. Just one little worry. Marion Roberts down 8% today. Any thoughts on that?
Alec, there's no specific news out on Marion Roberts. Look, in theory, the building and construction sector should do quite well in a falling interest rate environment. And if you look at Marion Roberts, the whole sector was down, but Mary was down the most at 8%. You know, this is a 6 PE company. The order book's quite solid. They are participating heavily in the government and other infrastructure expenditure projects. There's no specific reason for this to fall 8%.
And then we saw Great Basin Gold. We're going to be talking to Fadi Dippenaar a little later in the program, but that was down 7% today on their quarterly results. Strange to see that reverse.
Look at GB Gold. Understand it's a development company, and Ferdy will take us through all of the developments. But when you read the actual statement that comes out, you know, they're spending a significant amount of money on getting their operations in South Africa, but worldwide as well, up to spec. So they're not really trading yet. They're not really mining it. So, but we'll hear what Ferdy's got to say. And whenever you get these development resource companies or exploration resource companies, you know, the share prices are normally very, very volatile.